Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I know it has been so long since I've done my last full-length video. I think it's been over about 2 weeks now, but we are back. We just got finished with the draft a couple nights ago, and I'm here to talk about the Denver Nuggets 21st overall pick, whatever it was, Christian Braun. There are a couple disclaimers I want to say. First of all, I did not know who Christian Braun was or what he brought to the table prior to the NBA draft, so I want that to be abundantly clear. All of this research that I have done has been done within the past 2 days, and I'm basing all of my knowledge, all of my thoughts about how well he's going to fit with the Nuggets team based on that, based on scouting reports that I've read. I've done my research. I promise. These won't be baseless claims. I even watched a bunch of games, but we'll talk about that in a second. And also, before we jump into the full video, I want to give a special shout out to Dima over on Twitter. She was the one that posed the question about what I think about Christian Braun. After doing some proper research on my own, I can finally come to an answer and say that I think Christian Braun is damn near a perfect fit for the Nuggets in this draft. Let me tell you why.
Probing, had the ball knocked away. Harris.
Give it up.
Lob.
Oh,
Down, Braun, look out.
Oh, he gave it up. Great timing on that. Great timing.
Christian Braun averaged 14 points, 6.5 rebounds, 2.8 assists on 49% from the field, 38% from three, and 73% from the line. First thing that pops out, this guy is almost a 50-40 type of player. As a 6'6" wing that does not have the ball in his hands a lot when it comes to creating your own shot, I love that percentage. 38% from the three-point line is something that I love even more. Just based on the stats alone, I like this guy. But if you really needed some more specific bullet points about Christian Braun, here are a couple that I got for you. He is a great wing defender who can slide his feet with anyone on the perimeter. And you know how I mentioned the fact that I watched a couple of his games? One of those games was the national championship game against North Carolina, and how well he was defending Caleb Love out there on the perimeter. Have to talk about it, but we will get there in a second. He's a really good rebounder for his size. The 6.5 rebounds over the course of a year for a 6'6" guard, I really like that ratio. I really like that number. In the championship game, he had 12 rebounds. He's able to find the open spots on the floor, and what I mean by that is offensively, he is able to cut to the right spot, right? That is one of the things that he has been touted as, which is a really good cutter. If you understand what the Nuggets love to do, you understand why this is so perfect for them. And defensively, in terms of finding the open spots on the floor, he knows how to navigate across screens. He knows how to play the passing lanes. He's got tremendous defensive IQ. He's a ball hawk, essentially. A ball Jayhawk. I'm so sorry. He's also a 41% catch and shooter from three, and he is super athletic, which leads into another strength, which is the fact that he is really good in transition. So taking all of these strengths and comparing it against what the Nuggets need to have in order to make a next push, if you will, or to get better, or to shore up that bench depth, or whatever they need to address first, this was a good starting point. And this is all without mentioning the fact that he was called a plug-and-play NBA player by the VP of Nuggets scouting. Now, whether that is to cover their own ass and say that we made the right pick or not, or boost your own pick, whatever, I don't think that comes without any merit. But enough about the numbers and the words. What does he actually look like in game? So naturally, I went to the game and I watched him like a hawk. A Jayhawk. Finished the game with 12 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and he played all 40 minutes with really good switching defense. This first play I want to mention, I titled Christian Braun Interior Help Defense. He starts off, he's playing good perimeter defense over on the left side of the floor. The pass gets made, he gets bumped by Armando Bacot. Christian Braun tries to run back to his man, and as soon as Bacot pivots his left foot, Christian Braun at the same time plants his left foot and is able to get his arm straight up for a very good vertical contest, which results in a missed shot. He gets the board and then throws it off. High IQ play, very good in terms of versatility and switchability and being able to read where the open shot is. While McCormick may not have gotten beaten on that drop step, I do think it was the right call for Christian Braun to come over and slide and help. Let's move on to the next one. This one I aptly named Screen Navigation and Fast Break Layup. We're seeing Caleb Love bring the ball up the floor. Christian Braun's picking him up at half court. He's doing a really good job of keeping Caleb Love pressured on the sideline. So now this screen is going to be a little bit harder to execute. It's a handoff screen. Braun initially goes under the screen because at this point, Caleb Love was not shooting really good from the floor. He's able to get to the top of the key and reattach very quickly to Caleb Love on the perimeter after McCormick shows and retreats. He didn't really do anything spectacular, but it's a play that I am really impressed with because screen navigation is so crucial in today's NBA, especially with the Nuggets, because they have run very slow-footed centers. I'll say it. DeMarcus Cousins, Nikola Jokic, very slow-footed centers. Having wings, having guards that are able to navigate a screen properly against a much bigger Armando Bacot, having them be able to navigate the screens and get right back to the man so that a switch, first of all, does not have to happen because Jokic on a guard is a Jokic because I don't want to see that ever in my life. Christian Braun comes in and plugs up potentially one of those problems, which is having a guard that can stick to a guy around the screen. I really like that. Denver was missing that so much, especially against the Warriors, because we all know and despise this fact about the Golden State Warriors. They run a motion-heavy offense. There are a lot of screens off ball. There are a lot of screens on ball. There are a lot of handoffs. There are a lot of opportunities for them to get switches. And one of the problems that Denver ran up against was that they didn't have enough versatile defenders to cover those switches, right? To cover the handoffs, to cover the off-ball pin downs when Steph Curry is coming up and now Jokic has to guard him because a switch happened down low or something like that, right? Those are things we do not want to see. Christian Braun comes in, helps that problem, especially against the second units in the league, and more specifically in the Northwest Division with the Nuggets. I'm gonna like the bump that Christian Braun gets with the second unit. He's gonna have a lot of chances to up his defense and really go up against guys that are not only gonna challenge him, but players that I think he'll be able to match up 1-for-1 against specific teams in this conference. This is a guy that is touted as a plug-and-play type of player. Does not mean you should get your hopes and dreams up for this guy, but I think we all know what we're going to get from him as an NBA player because his game is extremely transferable. Now, I cannot call myself an objective analyst without noticing and amplifying what his weaknesses are. According to several scouting reports, one of them being from BehindTheBuckPass.com, isolation and shot creation, one of the biggest weaknesses of his game. And it's noticeable, right? It's expected from a 6'6" off-ball guard / small forward that operates mainly as a 3-and-D wing. That's not the role that he's serving. And two, which even this article recognized as a nitpicky one, is the fact that his numbers drop against heavy competition, which is something that I'm not really worried about because the NBA and college are in two different stratospheres when it comes to being sports leagues. It is something to note that heavy competition drops his shooting numbers, but we'll just have to see with that type of thing. Among the games that I watched, this one, the game against Miami in the round prior, I am okay with these two being his weaknesses. The Nuggets did not need another ball handler. They're not going out into this free agent market. They weren't going into this draft with the thought that, okay, we really need a backup point guard, someone who can handle the ball. They already have that, right? And if they end up trading one of those pieces, I'm very positive they are going to get one in return. So this was not a problem that they needed to address. So these two things being Christian Braun's weaknesses, I'm perfectly okay with. Because if he's going to be sharing minutes in the second unit with Bones Highland, who is already emerging as a really good playmaker and as a really good scorer, I'm perfectly okay with Christian Braun being able to play off the ball. If he is going to run the two, I want him to get better at isolation ball and shot creating, but it's not as big of a concern. And this is why I love Jokic so much as a player and why he is such the perfect center for today's game. Having your center be the primary facilitator for your squad opens up so many different avenues for your team because it allows you to draft guards or go out and get guards that may not necessarily be as strong on ball as maybe another starting guard or even some backup guards. You don't have to worry about that or put it nearly as high on your priority list because you have the center that does it. So now instead of having a guard with like one more guard, a couple of wings, and a center moving around the court with him trying to facilitate, you've now got the center that has four presumably speedy and more athletic options that he can throw to. It's been working for the Nuggets when they've been healthy, and it's going to continue to work for the Nuggets so long as Nikola Jokic is there. And I think Christian Braun is going to fit perfectly into this system because he is touted as someone who knows how to cut, someone who has a lot of basketball IQ already. And watching these games, you can see the IQ. In a jumble of 6 players, he's able to be the prime communicator in that situation, telling people to switch, telling people to get out of the paint while I cover, telling people to go get their guy while I switch onto here, and then proceeding to get the rebound. There are a lot of good things, a lot of little things that he does right. And I really like this pick. I'm not going to get my hopes up way too much. He is a rookie after all. He's 21 years old. He's got a decent frame. I hope he buffs up just a little bit, gets a little bit stronger. But besides that, man, like, I like the pick. I really like the pick. And that's going to do it for the analysis. I want to mention one more thing that was kind of bothering me when it came to Nuggets Twitter on draft night. There were a lot of tweets, a lot of angry tweets, I think, from fans that thought this first round pick was going to be the make or break moment for our title chances next year. It's not. A rookie does not have that power. A rookie outside of the top 3 in this draft does not have that power. I promise you. This is a pick that, if it were to be involved in a trade, I don't think would have gotten the return of a win now piece that a lot of fans are clamoring for right now. We know that new management is going to be aggressive. They've already said that. They are in win now. Let free agency actually start. Let pieces be able to be moved. Let Michael Porter Jr.'s contract, his extension contract, actually kick in. And then we can start judging about whether or not they're making win now moves. Okay? Okay, that's all I have for today. Felt really good to be in front of the camera again, like that, in this capacity. But if you enjoy it, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Almost forgot what I tell you to do every single time. Yep, I'm out of here. Deuces and a quarter, baby. Also, say hi to Gibble. I know I didn't mention her, but this is my pet dragon. Bye.